Tuesday, February 11th, an insane crime shocked Japan. Eri Sato, a 22-year-old streamer, was brutally attacked while live streaming on the streets of Tokyo.
Some heartbreaking news from Tokyo, Japan. Popular Japanese voice actor and live streamer Mogami Ai was tragically stabbed to death while broadcasting live on the platform Who Watch.
Hello, hello. Back again on a rainy day. So, boy, have I got a story to tell. I mean, honestly, it's quite shocking. Because usually in Japan, I mean, you guys are always telling me, I mean, not all of you guys, but a lot of you guys are always telling me about how safe Japan is, how there is virtually no crime in Japan, how people can just basically walk around, go about their business, do whatever it is that they need to do without having any type of fear of walking the streets. But that is starting to change a little bit. I mean, yesterday there was a happening. Actually, when I say there was a happening, that's kind of like Japanese English, meaning that something extreme happened. Yeah, something extreme did happen. A young lady, very, very young, I think she was about maybe 21, was brutally attacked by a knife-wielding guy about 42 years old and killed. Now, honestly, the guy must have been really, really crazy because this happened while she was live streaming. I mean, she was live streaming to her audience. I think she had like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers or whatever. I'm not sure how many people were watching her that day, but she was streaming. He showed up out of nowhere and started his attack. Basically stabbed her quite a few times and essentially deleted her. Now, I've never heard of anything like this happening in Japan. And at first I thought, okay, well, you know, this must be some crazy dude. I mean, I've lived in the most dangerous place in Osaka and I never heard or saw anything remotely close to that. So again, I thought it was something out of the ordinary. But it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Well, actually, yeah, maybe it was something out of the ordinary. Because this definitely doesn't happen every day. But either way, according to news reports, she was kind of like a scammer. She worked as a hostess. And, you know, working as a hostess in Japan isn't really dangerous. I mean, most customers are pretty much respectful. I mean, they do get a little touchy-feely, but the ladies over here don't really, I mean, I'm not sure if they don't mind it or if they just aren't really as sensitive as somebody in the States would be. But anyway, so this is what happened. Apparently, this guy, again, I mean, if you look at him, I'll have some pictures up, or I probably had some pictures up at the beginning. If you look at him, he definitely doesn't look like a ladies' man. He definitely doesn't look like he has a lot going on. He definitely doesn't look like he could be with the girl that he deleted. So, apparently, they met online somehow while she was live streaming or whatever. She invited him to her club, which is where she was working part-time. Basically, hostesses, what they do is they're conversationalists. And they can hold their liquor, a lot of them. Basically, they get men to come in there. Sometimes they stand on the street and wait for guys and, like, you know, and call them and say, hey, come to my place, let's have a drink. But pretty much the guys understand, and the guys know that they're not really all that interested in them per se. They're more interested in the cash that these guys are going to be providing. So what she did was she invited him to the club, and I think she gave him like some sob stories about how she wasn't making enough money for the club, and because she wasn't making enough money, you know, something was going to happen to her, so therefore he was like lending her money little by little. And which I guess she was going to have to repay it either with her flesh or with some cash. I mean, you know, again, when you look at this guy, I don't think you could really blame her for not wanting to do anything with him. But what happened was he kept on giving her money, and he wasn't receiving anything for his, I would say, I mean, he wasn't receiving anything for his consideration. That's like a legal term for money. No, I'm not a lawyer. So he wasn't getting anything. So I think this went on for years, and all of a sudden, he was counting, she wasn't. He took her to court, trying to recoup some of his funds. And obviously she didn't show up because she wasn't gonna pay it either way. Either way, she wasn't gonna pay. And actually, I'm going the wrong way. In Japan, usually these civil matters aren't really, I mean, again, you've got a young girl, you've got an old man, the court gave him the win, but it wasn't like anything that he could enforce. So, all right, you won, but you didn't win. So it's kind of like, I could imagine him being like super upset finding out that, okay, walking out of court thinking, okay, ha ha ha, I'm gonna get my money now. And then all of a sudden finding out that she couldn't be arrested for not returning his money. And obviously beating her up or doing anything more than that wasn't going to get him his money either. And that definitely wasn't a good idea. But he went to the extreme. Oops. He basically ended up finding her while she was live streaming. He tracked her down. Well, I guess what happened was, she was probably advertising where she was. And he knew that she was live streaming, and he was like, okay, you know something? I'm not going to let you get away with that. The court might have let you get away with it, but I'm not. He tracked her down. He attacked and attacked. She yelled. She screamed. But again, it was too late. It was too late. She succumbed to her injuries while on the way to the hospital. And you know, when you go into these Japanese chat rooms, they're pretty much, it's half and half. They're like, you know something? She shouldn't have taken his money. I mean, pretty much it's alleged that she took around 2 million yen, which is around maybe $15,000, depending on what day you look at it. So she took around 2 million yen with no intent on paying it back. But the thing about a lot of these hostesses, a lot of these girls, what happens is they get into a bad habit. They use men for money. I mean, no. Okay, no. Let me rephrase that. They use men who are lonely, who have to pay for companionship because they're not really able to get that companionship from people in a normal way. So in a sense, those guys are kind of vulnerable. And she used her youth and beauty to take advantage. And she took advantage of the wrong dude. So usually what these hostesses do is they take money from guys that are weak, not that good looking, not that, I'd say, aren't really good with the ladies without having to pay ladies to smile and laugh at them or smile and laugh at their jokes or whatever. And they take money from those guys and then they go to the host clubs. So it's kind of like the male version of the hostess bars, where now they're paying younger guys, better looking guys, to entertain them. And sometimes those ladies are spending a lot of money. Sometimes those ladies might even spend $10,000 in one day buying a bottle of whatever's available in that host club in order to please that host, in order to make that host number one, because all the hosts who work at a club and all these hostesses who work at a club, they want to be the top host. They want to be the top earner for that club because obviously, you know, I mean, I guess they're you know, that, I mean, I guess if you work, you will, I mean, if you work as a salesperson, you want to be the top salesperson because I guess there are perks. So the host wants to be the top dog and she wants to be the top lady. And so pretty much as soon as they get money from those guys, they turn around and give it to the better looking guys. Now there's a name for it, I forget what it's called. But either way, I mean, you understand what I'm saying. So pretty much, she kind of like scammed this guy out of his money, or beat him out of his money, or whatever it is. God, I'm having trouble with my umbrella. Can't seem to close it. Close the umbrella. There we go. So she beat him out of his cash. I mean, I'm not sure if you can call her a scammer, but obviously he felt that he was scammed. I mean, you know, look, she's a hostess, so of course, what do you expect? She's doing it for the money. She's not doing it because she loves you. I mean, and it's not like this guy wasn't exactly a rich guy. He was just basically a hard-working guy, and according to the reports, he was basically borrowing money and giving it to this girl. And he was borrowing money from what you call a salakin. Now, a salakin in Japan, or Japanese, basically means a loan shark. So he was actually borrowing money from a loan shark, and I guess the loan sharks were on him because they wanted their money back. And they weren't getting their money back. So if they weren't getting their money back, they were going to put pressure on him. And apparently they put enough pressure on him to where he snapped on her. And, you know, a lot of people are pretty sympathetic to him. A lot of people are pretty much saying that, hey, you know something, she deserved it, or she got what she was asking for. Because she shouldn't have done what she did. She strung him along. He probably thought that there was more there that was there. And because of that, he snapped. He snapped. And he definitely did snap. She's dead. He didn't really run. He just basically waited for the police to come get him. And he waited there. I guess that's the end of it. I mean, I'm not sure that's the end of it, but I mean, in Japan, the conviction rate is pretty high, so I don't think that his guilt is in question. Oops. Again, gotta get this umbrella. There we go. So I don't think that his guilt is in question. He was at the scene, and I guess if you're stabbing people, you have the evidence on you. So he is most certainly, most definitely going away. But in all honesty, I don't think he's going to get the death penalty, because there's a lot of sympathy for this individual, regardless of what he did. But, I mean, it's like they were both trapped. He was chasing something that he wasn't going to get. And that girl, if you believe the reports, she was chasing something she wasn't going to get either, because she was out there spending her money on these host clubs and she didn't have any money. And she was stringing this guy along, telling him, giving him sob story after sob story, telling him all sorts of different, getting him to come to his club. No. Getting him to go to her club. And getting him, to spend money and drink. And then borrowing money over and over and over again from him. And obviously, it didn't turn out right. It did not go well. So I wonder if these hostesses are going to learn from this and basically decide that they're not going to string these guys along, because some of these guys will snap. Some of these guys are going to be like, something, hold on a second, I thought that, or you made me believe that. You made me believe that there was way more than I thought there was. Now I wonder if these girls are going to change. Because honestly, there are way more girls doing that than most people think or know. There are a lot of guys in Japan that get strung along like that. There are a lot of men in Japan that spend money on ladies at these hostess clubs. And most of them don't have to, most of these ladies don't have to worry about their lives like that. But I guess she was the unlucky one. I guess these ladies are going to either learn that they shouldn't do that, or maybe they're not going to learn from this. Honestly, I don't think that this business of women stringing guys along at these hostess clubs is somehow going to end. I seriously don't. I think that it's going to continue, and as the economic downturn in Japan continues, I believe that you're going to start seeing more and more cases of this. And this is probably just the beginning. Probably. But again, I don't have what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have any great forecasting abilities. Actually, yeah, well, when it comes to this, no, but I definitely think that Japan is definitely turning a corner. This is not the only violent incident that I know of. I mean, I've known of foreign girls who've been deleted in Japan. But either way, Chase the Traveler with breaking news. Actually, it happened yesterday. See you next time.